Welcome back to our channel. Today we bring you the shocking and dramatic developments of the episode Beyond the Gates that aired on Monday, July 21st. Nicole never thought that the biggest nightmare of her life would start with a small piece of paper hidden in a drawer that she accidentally found while looking for a receipt. At first, she did not understand the content, but when the words gradually appeared clearly before her eyes, a cold feeling ran down her spine. The words implied that Ted's extramarital relationship was not just a normal secret mistake, but also hinted at a worse secret related to Martin, the boy she devoted her heart to loving, caring for and protecting as if it were her own life. Her heart was pounding so hard it felt like it was going to jump out of her chest, and in that moment, all the images of the perfect family she had worked so hard to build for so many years came crashing down. The feeling of betrayal from her husband was a deep cut. But it was cut even wider when she realized that her parents, Vernon and Anita, knew everything and remained silent. Not only did they remain silent, but they even participated in the game of concealment like calculating and cold accomplices. Nicole was reeling from pain and anger, as the people closest to her life conspired to deceive her, hiding the most important thing, the truth about Martin, the son she thought she knew best. But in reality, she had never been allowed to know what her son had really been through. Martin was not just a victim. He was the victim of a fateful attack that left him physically and mentally scarred. But the greater tragedy lies in the fact that his own family turned him into a tool to hide an unforgivable sin, instead of bringing Martin into the light, protecting him and helping him recover from the terrible trauma. Vernon and Ted extinguished all hope of recovery in him by burying the truth, building a thick wall of lies and demanding that Martin remain silent for the sake of the so-called honor and image of the family. Martin was forced to keep secrets, living in the shell of a normal person, while inside his soul were broken pieces that had never been mended. And even more painful is that Martin himself became part of that conspiracy, unwillingly or not. But the truth is that he chose to remain silent to his own mother, which made Nicole feel stabbed in the back by all the people she loved the most. Nicole's pain became more and more uncontrollable as everything came crashing down like waves of anger that broke down all her defenses. She remembered the times Martin sat alone, his eyes filled with something she couldn't decipher. The times he avoided her gaze, the times he got angry for no reason and then quickly apologized. All of that now appeared like forgotten pieces in a cruel picture, where the truth was distorted by excuses and terrifying silence. As Nicole began to face the truth, a rage like a fire burned her reason. She no longer wanted to forgive, no longer wanted to stick together, no longer hoped for any reconciliation. That was the moment she decided to end the marriage that had been poisoned by years of betrayal. Filing for divorce from Ted is not simply a legal action, it is a declaration of war. A fierce retaliation, a way for her to regain control of her life after so many years of being manipulated by people she once trusted completely. Meanwhile, Chelsea, who has always been considered a strong and courageous companion, suddenly became violently angry with Bill, although the specific reason has not been clearly revealed. The tense expressions, the rising rage and the despair in Chelsea's eyes make it easy to speculate that she has discovered something serious, possibly related to the connection between Bill and the dark secrets surrounding Martin's case. Chelsea has never been someone who is easily overcome by emotions, but this time she seems to explode, which proves that the betrayal from Bill, the person she once thought was her support, has pushed her beyond her limits. Nicole, in her quest to find the truth and regain justice for Martin as well as for herself, becomes colder and tougher than ever. She is no longer the gentle woman who accepts to sacrifice for her family. She becomes a confrontational force, a woman determined to uncover all the truths buried under the dust of lies, even if that means confronting her own parents, her once devoted husband, and her once proud son. While Nicole was caught up in a whirlwind of anger and pain, Vernon, the man who was once respected in the family, the father who always appeared dignified and calm, began to collapse little by little. The guilt that he had tried to bury for so many years began to weigh heavily on his mind, making him unable to continue to maintain the image of a model father. His eyes became cloudy, his hands trembled every time he remembered the fateful moment when he chose to hide the truth. extinguishing the last light of faith in the family. Vernon could not deny that he had pushed Martin into the darkness, had contributed to Nicole's loss of faith, had shattered every little piece of the life that he had once proudly protected. Vernon's collapse did not come immediately, but was a slow, painful process that gnawed at him day by day. He began to lose sleep, staying awake in the struggle between the past and the present, between fatherhood and sin, between honor and truth. The more he witnessed Nicole's suffering, Martin's disappointed eyes, and Chelsea's cold, angry face, the deeper he sank into a sense of hopeless self-blame. All his efforts to build a perfect curtain to cover up his past sins were now counterproductive, becoming a double-edged sword aimed directly at him and his loved ones. Every member of the family now stood on a separate side of the battle line, no longer united, no longer forgiving. Each person carried within them their own pain and unquenchable anger, and a secret they did not want to repeat. The story of that seemingly perfect family was now an irreversible tragedy, where the truth, even if revealed, could not heal the wounds that were deeply ingrained in each person's heart. Just when Nicole thought she knew the truth, when she was ready to sign the divorce papers and cut ties with all her dark past, a shocking revelation turned everything upside down. An old video hidden deep inside an old USB that Martin had hidden in a secret drawer was accidentally discovered by Chelsea. The video recorded the moments after the fateful attack that Martin was the victim of, but what was even more horrifying was that the people appearing in the video were not only Vernon and Ted, but also a familiar face that left Nicole speechless, her mother Anita herself, not only present at the scene, but also signaled two strange men to take Martin away while he was panicking, covered in blood and constantly calling for help. Nicole could not believe her eyes. Not only was Anita's silence complicit as she had thought, but she also played a mastermind role in covering up the incident, perhaps even the one who had planned it all from the beginning. All her loving actions over the years had now become a perfect mask for a dark conspiracy that no one had expected. This shock completely devastated Nicole. She no longer knew what was real and what was fake. Her mother, the one who had taught her about morality, about trust, about sacrifice, turned out to be the first person to betray all those values. Just as Nicole was about to publicly reveal the video in front of the whole family to expose the truth, a shocking event occurred. Vernon suddenly had a heart attack and collapsed in the middle of the living room when he saw the clip playing. He screamed nonsense, tears streaming down his face, trying to say something about the other child that no one could understand. In his dying breath, Vernon seemed to want to reveal another secret even bigger than Martin's, a truth that he had kept hidden all his life and now had no time to tell. The room became chaotic. Ted hurriedly called for an ambulance. Anita was pale and speechless, while Nicole held her head and cried like crazy. Was Martin not the only child ruined by the family plot? Were there other victims that Nicole had never known? Or was Vernon in his last moments hinting at another child, a secret that had never been discovered? Everything now went beyond Nicole's imagination. Her family was not only torn apart by lies, but was also deeply entangled in a web of sin that was more complex and darker than she had ever imagined. And the worst part is, the secrets don't seem to end there. The story isn't over yet. A door has just opened, leading to even more horrifying truths behind the scenes of a seemingly perfect family. Be sure to subscribe and follow our channel so you don't miss the next shocking developments of Beyond the Gates.